Hi, I'm Tom with the FCB Launch channel, and in this tutorial for FreeCAD I will show you how to create different stair structures inside of FreeCAD. So I will show you how to create a parametric stair, which is this simple concrete stair, then this stair type with stringers on the side, then there's also simple stair type with threads and risers. And then this open riser stairs on a subtle central stringer. So this tutorial is concentrated on the stair structure. What I will not show in this tutorial is different shape types like, U-shape or half turn. I will have a separate tutorial which will show how to create these different combinations of flights and landings. I'm using FreeCAD 1.1 in this tutorial. So let me close these sample files and I have this empty file. And to create a parametric stairs, we have a stairs tool in the BIM workbench. Now if I click this tool, a stairs object is immediately created and you can see that it contains railings. I will not be concentrated on railings in this tutorial, so I will delete these railings for now. And what's important is that you can have a baseless stairs, or you can have stairs created on the basis of a line or a sketch. So if I create a line here and I select the line and fire up the stairs tool, the stairs is created based on the line. So this is the difference between baseless stairs and the stair based on the line. So mostly because we are now concentrated on the stair structure, we will work with the baseless stairs. We will work more with base having stairs in the second tutorial where we would need more complicated stair shapes. So I will take a step back, so I will delete also the line. So now I have only this stair object here. Now to change the structure, we will only work with the stairs parameters because the stair is parametric. So if I select it, you can see in the data properties, we have got lots of properties which change the structure or the shape of the stairs. And now we will go through them. I will show you the most important ones. So first things first, the most important parameters are in the stairs section, and it's the height, length, and the width of the whole stairs object. So if I change the height from 3000 to 4000 millimeters, the stairs will be 4000 millimeters height, and the geometry changes accordingly. The same if I change the length to 6000 millimeters, you can see that the shape changes, and the same is with width. You can change the width. Now it's important to note that the height and length, you can change it here as a parameter only if the stairs is not based on a line. If it's based on a line or a sketch, the length will not influence the shape of the stairs. So this is important to know. Now what's also important is the alignment. So if I take a look at the stair from the top and I will turn on my grid, so we have got some reference, you can see that now it's aligned to left. And if I change the alignment, it's from here, this point to right, it switches the alignment to the right side. And now if I switch the alignment, it's aligned to the center. This is more important when the stairs is not has got base, so it's based on line or another object. So I will turn off the grid and we will continue. Now we will take a look at the number of steps of the stairs and the thread depth and the riser height. So this is in the steps section properties. And the first most important is the number of steps. If I change this from 17 to 10, you can see that that the number of stairs changes parametrically, and you can see the thread depth and riser height. Just to let you know, this is the riser height. This edge is riser height. It's 400, and this is the thread depth. This is 666, and these values are calculated now automatically depending on the size of the stairs and the number of steps. So if I change number of steps to 15, you can see that the riser height and the thread depth has changed. Now sometimes you want to have a certain riser height and thread depth, and you don't want them to be calculated automatically. So if let's say I want to have 10 steps, each with the riser height of 150 millimeters, I would set this riser height and force, and I would set it to 150 millimeters, and then the height of the stair is not calculated through this property, the overall height, but it's calculated through the riser height and force multiplied by number of steps. And the same goes to thread depth and force. So if I wanted to have this depth 300 millimeters, I will set here 300 millimeters, and I have got 10 steps, 300 millimeters thread depth, and 150 millimeters riser height. So you have several options how to define the stair geometry. If I want again to have the riser height and thread depth calculated automatically in the enforce option, I will type in 0, and I will type in 0 also here. Now let me talk for a while about the number of steps, and actually let me unhide this slab that I have prepared here, and I will change the alignment to left and change the height of the stair to 3000, and the length was 4500. Yep. So from the top it ends at the slab, and you can see that this slab, the top of the slab, is actually located at the, if I look at the position and select this point, it's at the Z height. The height is 3000 millimeters, and I have set the stairs to be 3000 millimeters high. So why, when I look at it from the front, it's not up to the slab? This is because the last step is by default not created. So you can see that I have got 10 steps. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this last one is the 10th one. So this is actually correct, because sometimes you want to have the stair created like this, but sometimes you want to have the stair created up to here. So there is no basically automatic way to do this. What I would do, let's say I would enforce the height, and let's say if I enforce the height to 300 and number of steps would be 11, I would have this type of stair, and it would have this landing up here. So you might be doing a little bit of calculation if you want to have the stairs like so, but I will actually disable the riser height and force, so I'm back at my original stairs. And let me actually change the number of steps to, let's say, 15, so it's something reasonable. And if you have this construction of stairs and you want to have the structure up to the slab, this is another section, and that is the structure. Now, first off, I will talk about the structure thickness. Is the thickness basically of this, in my case, this would be probably concrete. So if I change the structure thickness to 300 instead of 150, you can see it's the thickness of the stair structure. So it's this parameter, and how it's connected up above is this option, connection and stairs up. And now I have got to fly thickness, and if I change this to slab thickness, it's actually trying to connect up to a slab, but I have to have the slab thickness in my properties correct, because now I have this space here. So I have to set up this up slab correctly, because my slab has height, which is the thickness of the slab, 100 millimeters. So I will go to my stairs and I will set up slab thickness to 100 millimeters. And you can see that now it's connecting up to the slab, which is really nice. So you can see that now the stair looks like this, and it's connected up to the slab. And we have got similar options down here at the bottom, because currently it's kind of standing on the bottom slab. I will turn on the grid and look from the front. So this is the bottom side. If I choose the stair and I want to edit this connection, it's the connection down start stairs. Instead of horizontal cut, I could choose vertical cut. Then it's connected like so. And I can also choose horizontal and vertical cut, the connection, and it's down into the slab and like so. And this depth is defined by the down slab thickness again. Now it's 150, so this length is 150. If I wanted to have just cut up here, I would change the down slab thickness to 50, and then it would be like so. So these are the options how you can connect the stair to the slab up and to the slab down. So I will actually change this to horizontal cut. So this is how you change the basic geometry and basic structure of the stair. And now let's take a look at making some more detailed changes. So the most important thing is that you can actually add thread thickness and riser thickness. So if I change the thread thickness to 30 millimeters, you can see that I have got this thread, which is basically a different object from the structure. And you have to be careful, because if I look from the left, the thickness of the thread is added to the thickness of the structure. So if I change the thickness of the thread to 100, you can see that the structure remains 150, so it's added, so it's 100 plus 150. So be careful about this. And what you can also add is the riser thickness. So if I change this to 20, riser thickness is this one. So you can see that, let's say I have got concrete structure and it's covered with wood. What is also quite common is in stairs is to have this nosing a bit overhanging over the riser. So we have an option to change the nosing, and if I change it to 30 millimeters, I have got this 30 millimeters overhang of the thread. So from the side it looks like so. So this is really nice. But you have to be careful here when you are using the thread depth and riser thickness. Sometimes at these first steps or the last steps, you would have to manually create the riser. So you have to take care of the first and the last steps. So in this case, probably I would maybe change the stair like so it would end up end up like this, and maybe add another step here. Now another option we have is now the threads and the stair structure have the same width, and we can actually, using this structure offset parameter, change the offset of the structure from the sides. So if I set the offset, let me change it to 200 millimeters, you can see that the structure is offset from the sides. This offset is now 200 millimeters. If I change the structure offset to 400, it will be like so. So I can make the central basically stringer thin like so. And if I now change the riser thickness to 0, you can see that I have got the stairs that I showed you at the beginning, where I've got the central stringer, and this is the design. Now I could also have the stairs completely without a structure. Here I have the structure option. If I change it from massive to none, I have this well, now it's floating threads. So if I would put risers there, I could actually do that. So I could add riser thickness like so. But probably you would need something to enforce this. So we will place stringers on the side, and it's the structure. If we change it to one stringer, you can see that there is no stringer yet, because if I look at the stairs, I have to set the stringer width. It's set to 0. If I set it to 40, you can see that I have got this stringer on which the stairs are placed. You can see the stringer is located like so. Or I can use two stringers. And now I have got two stringers like this. And these two stringers actually work with the structure offset. And the structure offset sets how far they are from the center. So if I set this to 400, the stringers are like this. If I set it to 100, they are like so. If I set it to 0, they are at the edge of the threads. Now, what I can also do with the stringers, I can move them up or down. Actually, I will show you also, you can change the thickness of the stringers by changing the structure thickness. So if I change it to 400, I've got these massive stringers. So I'll change it to 300, and I can move them up or down by using this stringer overlap parameters. So if I change it to 100, it's moved up. If I actually cannot use the minus, so I can type in 150. There's a bug, I think. If I set the stringer so it's moving above this point, so in my case it will be maybe 170 is still okay. If I change it to 200, well, this is still okay. If I change it to 250, I get error. I think this is bug and it should be solved, but it's still there in FreeCAD 1.1. So this is the limitation of the stringers. So I will change it to 200. I will move it like so, and I will change the nosing so that the threads don't overlap the stringer that much. But now you can see that the threads and risers are overlapping the stringers here. If I look at the front, you can see that the threads are overlapping the stringers, and I would want to move the stringers outside of those threads. So I have this structure offset which moves the stringers, but I can move them only inwards. If I type in 0, they are like so, and if I type in minus 100, I cannot type it in. So there's a little bit of workaround here, which I don't know how long it will work. If I click here and I type in this, I want to enter expression. I click this button. I'm in an expression editor, and here I can enter negative values. So I will type in -100, hit OK. If I click here and back here, you can see that the stringers have been moved 100 millimeters in the negative value. But I want to, of course, the stringer width is 40, and I want to move it just -40. So I will go to the expression and type in -40, hit OK, and I have to click away for it to show up. So this is a bit of a hack of working with these stringers. Hopefully this will be polished up in future releases of FreeCAD. So this is it about the structure options of the Stair tool in FreeCAD. So now you should easily be able to create different stair types like these. In the next tutorial on the FCB Launch channel, we'll take a look at the no less important knowledge, and that is how to create different types of shapes of stair, the combination of flight and landing. So check that tutorial for sure. If you like tutorials like this one, consider supporting the FCB Launch channel by donating through the Ko-Fi page. The link is in the description box below. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.